Fort Halifax in Winslow, Maine is a National Historic Landmark and the oldest blockhouse in the United States. This sketch, drawn by one of its builders, depicts the entire complex of Fort Halifax as it existed in 1755. The former British colonial outpost was built on the banks of the Sepasticook River, just above its mouth at the Kennebec River. The original fort included two main blockhouses, a barrack, and a main building, as well as two additional blockhouses overlooking the area from atop a nearby hill. The blockhouse in the foreground is all that remains of the fort today, which was built by English settlers in 1754 to 1755 to defend the upper Kennebec River Valley from possible attack by the French and their Native American allies. During the 1600s and the 1700s, conflict was common between England and France, both in Europe and in the New World. When hostilities between the two nations erupted again in 1753, the government of Massachusetts, which included Maine at that time, felt very threatened because the French could easily travel along Quebec's Chaudière River to reach English lands in the Kennebec River Valley. Deciding that a defensive work was needed to protect the valley, Massachusetts ordered the construction of Fort Halifax. It took 5 days of difficult travel by river and land from Fort Western, which is present-day Augusta, Maine. Major General John Winslow arrived here with a force of 600 to establish Fort Halifax on July 25th, 1754. Winslow described activities that followed his arrival as follows. On the next day, laid out the ground, began to clear it, seated our guns and mortars, hoisted the king's colors with the beat of drum and sound of trumpet, and discharged of our whole artillery and small arms, drank to his majesty, and called this place Fort Halifax. In this place, we continued employing our people in cutting timber and pickets, sawing boards and plank, building storehouses, getting clapboards and shingles, pouring stones out of the river, marking bricks, burning coals, etc., and by the 17th of August, got in a good posture of defense. The fort was designed to guide against Wabanaki canoe routes that reached to the St. Lawrence and the Penobscot valleys up north. The bridge in the distance is the Carter Memorial Bridge that carried traffic across Kennebec River on Carter Memorial Drive from Winslow to Waterville, Maine. Danger! Steep embankment. Right below that sign are some striped bass regulations if you want to fish in the Kennebec. This is the Kennebec we're looking at. Downstream. Augusta is down that way. Here is the Sepasticook and the railroad bridge and Fort Halifax. Here is an illustration of an enormous fish of Taconic Bay. What do we have here? We have Atlantic sturgeon, short-nosed sturgeon, American shade, river heron on the right-hand side. Atlantic salmon, sea lamprey, American eel, and striped bass. quite a few wildlife around here. I hope you enjoyed the visit with me to Fort Halifax Park, National Historic Site. And stay tuned, and more will be on its way. Thanks for watching.